everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Crowning Connections. Today, we have a wonderful guest with us.
Yes, today we have someone that's very, very special to both Lindy and myself. She's super special because not only has she been in the pageant world for many years as a competitor, but also as a director. She was my director for National Ms. So, Suzanne, welcome to Crowning Connections.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's so great to be here. My name is Siouxzan Feller, and I am representing Elite Miss Southern New Hampshire Petite 2026 in the New England Petite Pageants, which will be held on November 2nd here in Concord, New Hampshire. I'm really honored to hold this title. I'm helping out in my community however I can. I'm a mother of three kids. We have two girls and a boy. They're all grown now, but they're still my kids, still my babies. And I'm married to my third grade boyfriend, James Feller, who I grew up with and knew for a long time. We have a very special bond, and we've been married 11 years now. I also work as a healthcare professional and patient advocate for individuals who are struggling either from homelessness or medical needs or anything, and I help them find the resources that they need to help them achieve in life. I decided to dust off my pageant shoes from the past 15 years, and I'm a little nervous, but you know what? It's exciting. It is like riding a bike. I'm going to be competing in the Elite Miss division of, as I said, the New England Petite Pageants on November 2nd. And my platform is empowering abuse survivors to find hope, healing, and strength. The main title of this platform for me is Rise from the Ashes, because I feel like as a phoenix, I have gone to the ashes in my life. I've transformed from it and I am shining brighter now. So thank you so much. A little fun fact about me too. I am someone who has gone over 100 miles on two wheels, and I love to collect old Hollywood glamour memorabilia.
That's awesome. So, are you
Thanks.
going to take some of that old Hollywood glam with you to your pageant?
Absolutely. I love old Hollywood glam, just the idea of it. As you know, my first pageant that I directed was an old Hollywood glamour theme because I feel like it was such an elegant time, such a classy time. People were so strong during that time and still were managing to look amazing and do amazing things.
That's awesome.
Well, rise from the ashes, Suzanne, that is such a powerful statement. Could you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to create that and what the message of that means to you personally?
Okay, yes, it's been many years. I have never shared a lot, but I was basically someone who was a child abuse survivor. I was actually in foster homes when I was in my teenage years. I worked my way through a lot of turmoil with my family. And then, unfortunately, I had gotten married to someone who was a domestic violence person, and he was very verbally and mentally and emotionally abusive. So it was a really hard time for me. Since then, as I mentioned before, I have made peace with my life, and I feel that I'm in a really good spot. Like I've literally gone to crash to the bottom that I can go with my emotions and everything I've been through, and just I feel like reborn, like rebirth, like the phoenix. And I have a tattoo of it, and I really kind of keep that message alive because I want to share my journey of healing, my story with others. The number one thing I would like to work on with my platform is I would like to create a safe space for people to feel like they can share their story. That's the hardest thing, is actually taking that step and sharing your story. You feel like you're going to be judged. You feel like there's nobody that really cares or understands. So my goal is to basically take other abuse survivors and use them as a way of healing each other by being that safe space and being that person that they can rely on to know that they're not going to be judged. It's just very close to my heart. I want to leave a legacy of just love and know that we can help each other out by sharing our stories and just being there for each other. And I know that by doing this, I'm also continuing my journey of healing. It's not just over because I've made peace. It's an everyday struggle. I have bad days and good days, but I try to see the positive and try to share positivity and hope that others will be able to have a similar result.
I think that's beautiful. And I think you are such an inspiration. You've been an inspiration to me for so long now. And I know to so many other people that have
Thank
been
you.
blessed. Of course, but you really are. And I think that just where you are today, and now you're stepping back into the pageant arena after 15 years, shows the determination and the growth and the grit that you have. And I'm just so proud of you. I cannot wait to see what you're going to do. And Lindy and I can relate to your message with your platform. You
Mhm.
would be surprised how many of our guests say very similar to what you have. They
Mhm.
want to share, but just because they share doesn't mean it's over.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think that just because you've healed, now you're okay, but, I have triggers just like anybody
Mhm.
else, certain things, but I've learned how to cope with them and just learn how to deal with that so I become a better person each day. My goal is to make sure that when I am not on this earth anymore, that the legacy I leave my daughters, especially and other abuse survivors, is that I was an inspiration to them.
And you definitely will with everything that you are doing and, even stepping
Thank
back
you.
onto that stage and being able to
It's
share
nerve-wracking.
it's nerve-wracking, but it's empowering at the same time.
Yeah,
You're
you're
taking
right.
back your power. That's something that I think was good for you, but it was also hard for you when you were even my director years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved pageantry. I got scholarship from Miss America for my degree, and it's something that has always been positive for me. And I've been able to get job interviews from interviews that I've done, and just it's really benefited my life. And I want people. I hate when people say that pageants are just a crown. You're just doing it because you think you're beautiful or whatever. But no, no, that's not the case. I mean, it's something that really gives you that stepping stone or that symbol that you can go out and not only promote your platform or what advocacy work you do, but it also shows that we're more than a crown. And it's definitely our microphone to be able to step out there and show others.
I always
Absolutely.
say it's fun to play dress up for crowning, but the real work starts before and starts after
Hmm.
because that's when you're actually hitting the ground running, either as a
Yes.
state title holder or a national or international title holder.
Yes. And I love this system. I love our director, Leah Jensen. She's absolutely on point and takes care of us and lets us know, very communicative with us. And I truly appreciate that. And as being a director, I know how hard that can be with life when it gets in the way. So I appreciate her and the system. It's for 5'6" and under individuals who are petite. I'm just under the cuff at 5'5". And we get to have an opportunity to share our platforms, our advocacy work, and show that we're more than a crown, but we also are strong. Just because you're not tall
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you can't be strong.
Absolutely. Remember how much your mission of promoting positive pageantry has always mattered to you. And I think that
Yes.
you're right. You hear so much negative about it. That's one thing I've always really loved is that you were determined to push that message forward and get that out and share that with the world. How would you
Yes.
say that pageantry has helped you with your own healing from everything you've gone through and helped you amplify the message that you're trying to push out with your platform?
Hmm. I think that it really has helped me I started competing when I was 16. And to be honest, I was really shy and really, my self esteem was really bad at the time. I was living with family in Southern Illinois and I was just trying to find myself again after being abused and being told, by my mother that I was just nothing all the time and I would never matter. It was really hard. So I commended myself at that time as I look back that I was able to get I guess, like the gumption to actually compete in something. And it really, as I did each one, it just made me stronger. And when you're an abuse survivor, things can trigger you very easily and you take things a lot more to heart than others. It's learned me how to like take criticism in a good way, but also I got to meet so many different people, have friendships. I mean, just you two. I mean, I've known so many people over the years just from having been in a pageant or directed a pageant. And I love that now that I'm comfortable with the piece and the background that I come from, that I can use this as an opportunity to go out there and say, hey, don't give up, even when you are having those really bad times. And sometimes there's stretches of times. Don't just think poorly on yourself, just lift yourself up. Like rise like the phoenix. I keep going back to that, but it's truly a great symbol for me because you literally feel like nothing. And then you just become this beautiful, almost like a diamond and sparkle. And I love sparkles. So you just are able to shine in so many different ways. And pageantry has just opened that door for me. I mean, not only was I able to get scholarship through Miss America, I won a national title, America's Beauties of America 30s back in 2010. And just meeting all the different people who have been through things similar to what I've been through and different causes. It's just such a great way to expand yourself and grow as an individual so you can help others.
So, since you had the opportunity to do pageants and then step away and then come back, are there any trends that you've noticed or things that you wish would have happened earlier that you see are happening now? See that is even changing the beauty industry as far as what we used to know of pageants and what we know of them as now?
Well, I definitely like the wardrobe better. It's something that's really changed over the past 10 years, and I absolutely love it. My thing is being kind of sexy but classy at the same time with that old Hollywood glamour kind of role. I do like that the walking is different, the styles of shoes, everything, and even the questions that they ask, they're more I guess with a lot of people, you have to be careful about how you ask things and what topics you really talk about. And I like that they're being more sensitive to that. That's definitely something that's big and different from when I competed years ago, and especially in the 90s. Anyway, I love all the things I'm seeing that are changed, and I hope that I can be a part of it and just help, create new ways of having pageantry show beauty and elegance.
Well, your crowns of inspiration, which something else I've always loved about you, just the name is just beautiful. But you mentor and you also uplift fellow survivors. Is there a particular moment that really stands out in your memory when you have been doing this work through Crowns of Inspiration that you could share?
Yes, it actually was a little while back. I actually was able to go to a orphanage where these children were products of abuse. And I was a title holder at the time, so it was exciting for them as well to see us. And I had this little girl come up to me, and it always stuck in my heart. And it makes me almost choke up sometimes because I think about how that little girl feels, and I know that I was that little girl. But she came up to me and kind of tugged my dress and my outfit and said, "Hi." And I was like, "How are you, sweetheart?" And she goes, "Do you think that I can be a beauty queen too someday? My mommy says that I'm not pretty enough and I'm not good enough." And it just tore my heart because I know that I had gone through that. And oh boy, now I'm getting choked up. But I just remember her eyes and her face. She just looked like she was just longing for somebody to give her that boost that she needed, the words that she wanted to hear. And so I took my crown off and I put it on her and I said, "You absolutely can be a beauty queen. You will be one someday. I promise you. And it doesn't even have to be with a crown." And she was just so excited. She gave me this huge hug and she ran away. I just felt in that moment that that is what pageantry is truly about. Not only just going out there and representing yourself and your beliefs, but also helping others feel better about themselves and do things. And she really is somebody that just stuck in my mind, even like 15 years later, because of the way she approached me and the way I was able to make her just her smile was beautiful. So, yeah, that was something that really I treasure.
Jen and I have talked before about how it takes normally 10 out of girls to replace one negative comment. And
Yes.
so the fact that you were able to do that, you lit a fire in her and she
Yeah.
changed. And that's so exciting. And you're right, that is exactly what it's about. We're not doing this for ourselves. We're also doing this for our communities, for others, to give them the hope and the
Yes.
encouragement that's needed when needed.
Yes. I have always been a true believer that you are a product of what you think. And if you're only hearing negative things, it's hard. It's really hard to pull yourself up. Being in an abusive marriage and being a child abuse survivor, I felt like I had a double whammy with that. But I'm stubborn and I'm strong. And I always make sure that I take a look at the big picture now. I don't just look at the moment. There are moments where I don't react well. Sure, I'm human. But there's also moments where I use it as a teaching lesson for myself and just to become a better person, a beauty queen advocate, mother, wife, everything.
Just listening to you and what you've shared briefly about what you have gone through, I think it's just evident that you have turned your pain into power and you've used
Yes.
your story and turned that into purpose. So when you do have those off days like we all do, what do you do to keep your light shining on those days?
You know, it's funny. One thing I do is I actually look at old pictures of not just myself, but other pageant queens. I've looked at many of your guys' pictures as well as like a little reboot of an inspiration that I can do this. I'm going to be able to do this. Don't let this overtake you. And that's something that I do. I also try to do things for myself. Like, I love rhinestoning and beading and all the different things. And that those hobbies help keep me positive as well as just going out and exercising. That was something that I made a big choice to just keep strong and stay strong and exercise because it really does help your mental health too. And one big thing my husband told me is this too shall pass, and you can't just let it dwell in your mind. You have to let it go. Like it's okay to be sad, my dad said, for a day and brush yourself off and get up, and that's what I try to do.
And I think actually as survivors too, you find your way to handle that better each time. So it dwindles,
Yes,
that instance is not as prominent as it was last week or even a year ago. So you just find those little keys and inspirations of hope to move forward. And I always say too, sometimes you have to literally take it minute by minute or even if it's second by second. And then those eventually
absolutely.
will roll into hours and days and months and years. But it does take
Sure.
a while.
Yeah.
How has your husband supported you, or what's one thing that he has done for you that he might not know about in a way that he has supported you?
Well, one thing I love about Jamie is that he just shows me love as much as he can. I kinda giggle because when he looks at me, I feel like there's little birds, like, going around. He
Sweet.
really does love me, and it's nice to feel that true love, even through the tough times. We have our tough times, sure, absolutely. Nothing's perfect, but I know that even though we're having a rough time, that he's still gonna love me, and that was something I didn't know before. I felt like if you didn't talk to me well or didn't think about me well and different things, you hated me. And that's not how I feel anymore. He is so excited about the pageant because he's never been, as they say, a pageant husband, except when we ran the pageant. You saw that he loved to walk on stage and be Mr. New Hampshire. But yeah, he's going to be my biggest fan along with my daughters. And the exciting thing is my daughters haven't seen me compete since they were little children, and they're
Yeah.
now 24 and 22. But they're going to be there, and it's just going to be so exciting to have such a positive crowd. Even if it's small, it's mighty.
That's right. And I can't believe they're in their 20s. That just made me
Oh,
feel
I
old.
know.
Yeah.
I remember them running around just little girls.
Yes. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened?
Well, you are so active in your community also, Suzanne. You're the board secretary for the American Veterans. What does that mean to you? And how does that position help you to expand veterans' causes?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but my father was a Vietnam vet. He did 4 tours in Vietnam. He was a Bronze Star winner and he has Agent Orange
Mm.
disease. So I'm a very patriotic person, but also someone that really believes in helping veterans. So in that position, I do what I can to help even administratively or any way, just to give phone calls, do anything, because I feel like veterans, especially from Vietnam, are truly forgotten at times. And seeing my dad struggle through Agent Orange and everything he's gone through, unfortunately, it affects our generations. I was very lucky to not have any birth defects from that, which is something that's very typical of someone who's been rained on with Agent Orange during Vietnam. So I really try to just get out there and help however I can. One thing I would like to also do is my father struggled forever to get 100% disability from the military for his Agent Orange disease. I remember being 12 years old and they only gave him 20% disability,
Mm.
even though he clearly had a shaking disorder that was very similar to Parkinson's. And I remember he would joke, he'd play pool, he'd be like, "Get out of the way. I might shoot you with the cane." But he had a good sense
Oh,
of humor about it. But he recently, in the past, I guess, 5 years, got 100%. And that just tells you how
mm.
long that
That's a
journey
lot.
was for him and how frustrating. And it shouldn't be that way. I mean, these
No.
individuals served our country and they were not even treated well when they came back, my dad said. They were just treated horribly. Now it's not like that, which is wonderful, but I just wish that we could now give them the opportunity to feel that, by showing we care and doing anything legislatively or anything to get these disability ratings to go through quicker. My dad could have used so much more during his journey. So I really am very passionate for veterans as well.
I love that. Lindy and I share that in common with you. These men and women have gone and served our country. They come back, a lot of them like your dad, or they have injuries that they will be dealing with for the rest of their lives. So the very last people that should have to struggle to get anything is
Is
our
them.
veterans.
Yes,
And yeah,
absolutely.
I have a super big heart for them, and I know Lindy does too.
I do.
Yeah, me too. I just, that's, if it could be another platform I'd have, it would be my second platform too. So,
And you've got that personal connection as well with your dad.
yeah. He struggled a lot. I mean, he even had an experimental surgery to try to help with the shaking disorder because it is very similar to Parkinson's. And I remember him at my high school graduation. The first time I saw it was he got a piece of cake. I gave him the plate, and all of a sudden the plate just flew everywhere, and he was embarrassed. And I felt so bad for him, but I didn't even know what it was. So after that, I was like, wow, that's really crazy how that affects their body. My dad said he saw Agent Orange just rain on him because he was the individual that would call the napalm planes. So he said he just remembers it. And he thought, yeah, the trees are going like, and then I don't know if I should be standing here, you know? Yeah. And so we know years later that it really did affect people. And it's something that we should be very conscious and knowledgeable about.
You also raise awareness for PTSD, which is something that we hear so much about today, but I think that there's still such a large portion of society that doesn't really take it seriously. You hear, just get over it, and that it's simply not the way that works.
No, not at all.
What are some challenges that you have faced yourself or that you see other survivors facing that you wish more people understood?
Yes, I guess it just comes down to people just judging others without knowing their story. You could easily judge someone you see that's maybe screaming on the street or doing whatever, but you don't know their background. And I remember in Delaware, there was a lady who would walk up and down the road with duct tape on her feet. And she was just mumbling to herself all the time. And they used to make so much fun of her. And I was like, you know what? I'm more curious of her background. Where did she go this way? Like what happened? And people have tried to give her shoes and she throws them at them. But you know what? It's interesting that just if you take a moment to really listen and hear somebody's story, we could become more compassionate to people and help them better. I just don't like it when people are very judgy. And that's one thing that they are with PTSD. They just assume you're weird. What is wrong with you? Like that kind of stuff. Triggers are huge. And I know that from being a survivor with PTSD for abuse, but it also works for cyberbullying. It also works for individuals that have been in war. It's something that can affect everybody. So we should try to be more knowledgeable and learn more about it. And if you have a family member that's like that, try to get in touch with them and just help them as you can. I don't mean just help somebody until they don't want the help anymore, but just help them. If they really want to, the hardest thing to do is reach out and ask for help and feel like you can talk to somebody in a safe space, like I mentioned. So if we could all do this together, I think we would just help the PTSD community and it would be better for everybody.
I think you're right. It is a very challenging, and you do get ostracized if you say you have PTSD. And something too that people don't think about, you can actually have medical PTSD where like your body is
Yes,
turning against itself and you're fighting your body every day. And so
absolutely.
there's so many different types, and I think more education is definitely needed for sure.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
I
agree
think
with that
that's
100%.
one of our goals with Crowning Connections was to give people a place to come and share their story without judgment, but also hoping that somebody listening to each of these episodes would need to hear what was being shared on that episode and realize, hey, I am not alone. There is
Yes.
somebody else out there that understands what I'm going through. There is somebody that I can connect with. and they do care about me. So we hope that's one thing that's happening for Crowning Connections.
Absolutely. You guys are awesome. I love what you're doing. It's kind of all in the realm of crowns of inspiration, and I really love that you're doing that. So commend to you. Respect.
Well, thank you. It's been a journey in itself to get here, but it also always comes back to timing, which is what we were talking about before we started recording with you, is how important that is. And you have your moments and you know when's the right time. And when things just all of a sudden fall in your lap, you're like, okay, it's just meant to be.
You were talking a little while ago about when you're not here any longer. When you think about your legacy, what do you hope that people will remember about you, about Siouxzan's message, about Siouxzan's mission? What would you want that legacy to look like?
I just want to be somebody remembered not only by the abuse community, the pageant community, but my daughters and my stepson as well, that I inspired others. No matter what I did something to inspire whatever work they were doing, whatever you felt in a positive way. One of the reasons I did create Crowns of Inspiration, which was my production company for several pageants that I did before, is to inspire, achieve, and succeed that inspiration that everybody needs. So, my legacy, I hope, will be something that my daughters will remember me as someone who was strong, got over adversity, and was really inspiring.
I don't think there's a doubt that that's going to happen. And beyond your daughters, as one of your former queens, both of us knew you before, you have definitely impacted my life in such a positive way. And I cherish you and your friendship for all of these years. You're gonna absolutely do that.
I can say I've had many conversations with Jen, and she has definitely mentioned you as kind of the catalyst and start of her pageant journey and,
Yeah.
all of that, and how much she's looked up to you and has appreciated you.
Thank you so much. That means so much coming from you guys. I don't do it for that, but it's like I really hope that when I look back, if I were you, I would want to find somebody that mentored me or inspired me to do more and help more and just different things. And if I am just a little part of that, I truly am honored.
Well, you were a huge part for me because when I competed in Mrs. Virginia, that was really my return from being a teenager. So I was not ready. I was not ready. But learned, and you are such a huge part of that, Siouxzan, because I
Thank
wouldn't be
you.
where I am now without having that connection, Lindy, the
Mhm.
connection with you, Siouxzan. I can't thank you enough for that. You're my director and you've been my friend, and I
Yeah.
cherish that above everything.
Yes, I do. I One thing I really do cherish is the friendships. Sometimes being a director, it's hard because maybe somebody didn't have quite a positive experience like they wanted, but I always try to, listen to people if they do have grievances and just be friendly with them. And in the future, if they need anything, advice. I've had some former contestants and queens come to me and just ask advice about things in pageantry and beyond. And it's really nice that they think of me in that way.
Which again shows the impact that you have had.
Thank you. Gosh, you're going to make me cry. Stop.
We've done that a few times
No
on here too.
Yes.
crying. No crying in pageantry. Oh my goodness.
I think you are just phenomenal, and I think everything that you stand for and everything that you have been through has brought you to the here and now. And to
Yeah.
see you return to stage, I know I'm super excited to see you and follow you and be your support system as you
Yeah.
compete. I think it's going to be great. I think you're going to do well, and you have this new joy that you found, and that you can use all those lessons previously and turn it into something positive and good, and just continue to make your mark, because we already know you have made a mark. You're just continuing now. You're just picking it up and walking
Yeah.
forward.
And I'm excited and I hope everybody votes for me. We're doing the People's Choice vote right now, and I'm sure Jen will and Lindy will share that link with you guys. There's two ways. You can just like the Facebook post for the social media award, or if you are generous enough to hopefully vote for me, it's $1 a vote, and a portion of the proceeds for the winner go to a charity of my choice. So, and I'm still deciding. There's a few charities I really love, but I just really want to make sure it's the right decision as well.
Well, when that time comes, you'll make that decision and it will be the right one because you have thought about it. So can you share with our listeners on that note? Could you share with them how they can find you to vote for you on social media, or is there a website for the pageant that they need to go to?
Yes, there is a website. It's the, New England Petite Pageants website, and if you go on there, their front page says People's Choice voting is on, and you can go through there. We have 7 divisions, so you will have to scroll through some
Yeah.
pictures, but I am in the Elite Ms division, and I think I'm the next to last picture in the grouping of the ladies, so, I'm just gonna hope that people support me, and you know what? I'm happy for whoever wins, because whoever wins, they're gonna donate to a charity, and that's the number one that's the greatest part.
Have you reconnected with anyone through the system that you've known before, or are these all new women?
A lot of them are new women, but you know how you know of somebody
Yeah.
through somebody? Kind of
Yeah.
like you know them through Facebook, but you don't really
Yeah.
you never met them or think what I love is there's a whole bunch of new ladies that I didn't know before, and as you know, a sisterhood is something that lasts. I still am friends and have support from my Mrs. America class from 2002. Everything, it's just wonderful. So I'm excited to share this journey with these other remarkable women of all divisions, the little preteens to the, elite miss. So I just hope that I can find some really great achievements that I can share with others during if and when I'm honored enough to win the title and kind of go from there. I'm excited just to meet new people. I love talking. So my daughter Mia always says she inherited that from me because she does. She loves to talk too. We're just like do 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 the whole time. So,
And there's
but
nothing
yeah,
wrong
I'm
with that.
excited.
That's great.
No, it's not. As long as it's used in the correct way, you're not just bugging somebody. But I'm excited that every sister queen I've run into is amazing. I love them all. I've not met anybody that I feel like, oh gosh, there's just everybody has special qualities. That's what I try to take from each person.
Which I think is another really important thing to bring up about the positive aspects of pageantry, because I think
Yes.
all too often we hear all the negative, "Oh, that person was trying to do this or that." I have been very blessed. I have not encountered that. I have had the most wonderful sister queens and made the lifelong friendships that I cherish.
Yes.
Is there anything in particular that you're doing for you to get you relaxed and ready for the pageant?
Visualization is something I do.
Mm.
It's something I never did before, but I learned that if you can visualize yourself as this person or having the honor of having that crown put on your head and visualize yourself doing things with that crown, it's such a relaxing feeling to know that you are positive in your journey, you're strong, you're ready for this. And it's something that really helps me prepare. I've got a great wardrobe this year. I'm so excited for the items that I'm going to wear. I love Jonathan Kane, by the way. He's a great inspiration for my clothing and everything. So, yeah, it's just, I love to visualize. Visualization is something that I recommend to other people that are wanting to win a title or working on a journey to win a title. You don't have to win in the first try. I mean, it took me 3 tries to win the title of America Beauty's, gosh, 2010. But yeah, you can keep trying. Don't give up.
That's great. I don't think we've heard of visualization yet. And so that's a new one that we can, definitely look into a little bit more.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the premise and the overall feeling of that of look the part, act the part, and then you
Yes.
become the part is definitely helpful.
Yeah. I mean, just remember when I didn't do that, it was like I needed to find a reason to doing it. But when you visualize that you are going to do this, this is something that you're going to do, you have that purpose. You have that ready to hit the ground running kind of attitude. And that's important. So, I hope that if anybody hears me, that maybe you try that with your next pageant. And if you don't win, don't be so defeated. Again, take it as a learning experience. And I feel like sometimes that comes with age too, because it's sometimes when you're young, your emotions are high. And I remember being upset not winning, and it never really served me any positive purpose. So I try to share that story. And I've always shared that, you don't want to just have a fit or do anything because you never know who's there watching you. And the only impression they have of you is that. So it's not you 10 years later, but still, they remember that temper tantrum you had or whatever.
And especially in the age of social media,
Oh
I
gosh.
think when Jen was your inaugural queen and I competed, social media was just up and coming, so we didn't really have
Yeah.
all of those additional pressures that we do now. And it's great because you get to connect with people, but at the same time, like you said, that stuff lives on forever. Be
You're always
mindful.
being watched. Yeah.
Yeah.
The pageant All-American that Lindy and I just came back from, when we were competing, they would always tell us, "Be careful what's on your social media pages because
Yeah.
the judges check
Mhm.
all of that out."
Yes.
So, whereas 15, 20 years ago, maybe that wasn't happening, now it is, and you're right, I think losing with grace, there's so much to be said from that. I started pageantry at 5 years old.
My
I
goodness.
but my mom told me, she said, "You would hide behind my legs and if somebody talked
Oh,
to you." So, she said, "I had to do something to get you out of your" and of course, the rest is history, as
what I
they would
used to do
say.
too. I would
Did
hide.
you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I was
was,
just
so shy, so shy. I
yes.
mean, I remember I would not come I was like my mom's leg was my like, my
Yep.
extended arm or something before. But, yeah, people would talk to me, and I'd be really shy, and it definitely has helped me come out of my shell, as you as you can see. It's nice, it's nice. It's a good positive thing from it. But, yeah, I started very young too, but I would love to see a picture of you at 5.
Actually, there is one somewhere on my Facebook that my mom found.
I
I
wanna
just
see
took a
it.
screenshot of it. But, yeah, when I did mine, I didn't even have all of my teeth because I had just started losing those baby teeth, and
You're
I
beautiful.
would not smile. I smiled, but not with my teeth showing. But it was definitely the right decision for me. I went from that to cheerleading, and then the rest with
Yeah,
pageants is history.
good.
I love it, but I have throughout the years seen people that didn't win that did not react the same way, and it just doesn't look good, and it reflects badly, and I think you're right, people don't forget it. It can come back and haunt you years and years and years later.
Yeah, I remember when I was a director, I would share this story that when I didn't win one pageant system, I won't name it, but one pageant system, I was first runner up and I really had a hard time with it. And there was a person backstage that saw me have a fit about it. And I don't remember what kind of fit. It was just I was upset. And I saw that same person about 7 years later, and they were a little standoffish to me at first. And being who I am, I'm very upfront and may I ask you why you're seem a bit, I guess, distant from me when I talk to you? And he said, I saw you literally have a breakdown and be negative and different things after not winning. And I apologized to him. I said, you know what? You're right. I did do that, but I learned from it. And I said that I hope that you will give me a second chance to make a first impression.
I
And we're
know
friends now, too.
Oh, that's
but
great.
they know
Yeah.
that's not the person that you are.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, Lindy and I just came back last week from All-American, and one of the sweetest ladies, we had been working with her for a few years. She had never done a pageant at all until a few years ago.
Yeah.
And so we really kind of, I guess, took her under our wing and just tried to help her, and she was crowned this year, so it took her
Was
3
she?
tries. She was,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yay!
So she was crowned, and
I bet she was.
she came back, and she just was determined to work and just come back and try
For her.
again, and it paid off for us, so we were thrilled.
Don't give up. Don't give up. That's all I say.
Absolutely.
No, knowing some of those stories and knowing people returning, I think that's part of the greatest comeback is willing to put yourself out there. And sometimes it's
Yes.
not, again, it comes down to timing. It wasn't the right time,
Mhm.
so you have to grow and learn in each of those circumstances to be better for yourself than you were even an hour ago.
Yep.
Yep. That's very true. I mean, even in the Miss America system, I was a pianist. And I remember at one local, I actually blanked on my piano piece in the middle of it and just stopped. And it was so devastating for me. I've never had that happen. And I was really embarrassed that day. And I went home almost like with my tail between my legs. But I wasn't gonna let that define me or be the last impression that people had of me because 'cause I'd already been a competitor in the system for a couple of years. So I came back and I ended up winning a local and I went and I was top 15 at Miss Pennsylvania America, and the judges, the directors said they gave me the most improved award. So there was some blessings in that.
Well, in closing today, Suzanne and Lindy, I'll give you final thought after I ask her this question, but if you could leave our listeners with one message of hope or one piece of advice, what would that be?
Wow, that's a lot. That's deep. I think the best advice I can give, especially someone who's competing for the first time or different things, is that be your authentic self. I spent so many years being what other people wanted me to be that I wasn't really my authentic self. And I found that when I became who I truly am and understood who I was and was just proud of who I was and where I came from, all the good, bad, and ugly, as they say, I did better in life and in pageantry. So please just always remember to be your authentic self. It's nice to take criticisms and just different advice, but don't let it overtake your true beliefs and who you are. So that's my advice.
Excellent advice.
I don't really think there's any final thought after that. It's beautiful, and I think that's just what our listeners need to remember. Just always be your authentic self.
Yes. Bring your
Absolutely.
A game, as they
Yeah.
say.
There you
Yeah.
go. Well,
But I
Suzanne,
do just want to say that November 2nd is when I'm competing in Concord, New Hampshire at the New England Petite Pageants. If you are in my area, would really love to support if you could come. It's 3 o'clock on Sunday the 2nd. So if I am fortunate enough to win that pageant, I will go on to Chicago and compete in the Petite USA pageants in July. And there's another stepping stone after that for international, but I'm going to take it one step at a time.
well, we're going to be following your journey, and I'll be cheering you on from Virginia,
Mhm.
Lindy from
Yes.
Delaware. But
Mhm.
we are with you in spirit and heart. We'll be thinking about you, so make sure you update as soon as you can
Yep, and
on
you
your
guys keep
surfing.
on inspiring too, because you guys are fabulous, and I really, truly appreciate this time you've spent with me today.
Well, thank you so much for taking your time out on a
Mhm.
Saturday to be here with us. Guys, please do go and support her. She can use your help on People's Choice Award voting and social media awards. So if you can do that, that would mean so much to all of us. And Suzanne, thank you again for taking the time to be here. We will be following your journey, and who knows, maybe we'll have to have you back on as a national title holder here before too.
Maybe, we'll see.
We'll
I
cross our.
hope. All right,
Well,
well, thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Crowning Connections this week. And until next time, be blessed, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.